Hi guys, this is this. I'm going to show you how to do a fade in Clickteam Fusion. I did an example of this like a couple of months ago or a year and a half ago now, and although I got the basics done, it lacks specific things, so I'm going to show this video. So here we go. So first thing I want to do is create a new layer, insert an object, active. Going to want to fill it in. Color, enter. I like to set the RGB to black because the darkest one click team, like for the colors you have, is the fucking yeah, a fucking really dark blue. Anyways, yeah, you're just going to want to fucking I'm an idiot and record everything. I think you set to the resolution of your, that's the wrong one. You want to set to the resolution of your window. I think for mine it's 500 and something. Yeah, it's a bit overkill. It's not important. Anyways, yeah, you want to place down your object. We're going to want to go to alternative values. Going to name this fade. Now we're going to do our, okay, so again, ignore this. Okay, so now ignore this. What we're going to do is create a new group of events called fade. Now what we're going to do is that if it equals 0, well, let's check something. Okay, that's different. So if it equals 0, it's going to be a minus, I think, or let's just going to check. So let's just quickly check this. It's going to be a plus. I'm an idiot. Is the fade value, the object is 0. It's going to be so it's a plus to fade out, and the lower the value is, the longer the fade will take, and the higher it is, the faster it will be. So, for example, let's do fade 1. You see how long it is taking, but if we do it, let's do fade 20. You don't see, you barely can see. So the sweet spot is generally around 5 and 3. I like to do 5 if you're doing like normally, and 3 for fade outs. So I'm going to create equals different than 0, and this is just for a basic fade. If you're doing something very specific, you want to do it differently, but it's going to be a minus. And because I like fade outs to take fade-ins to take longer, I'm going to make this a -3. So yeah, now we're going to actually make this work. So user, click the spin zone, or whatever you do, you can basically have this what you want. So if it's a warning screen every 3 seconds, for example, set the value. So let's just do this very quickly with the menu, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with for a warning screen example. So let's say I'm using alternative. I'm using instance values. So just going to appear like this, but ignore that. So we're going to do a menu example, and going to do zone setup. So clicks in zone, blah blah blah. And I'm going to use, so now if you want to be relevant, if you also use instance values, you can just do it. So it's or you can just place ornaments and say, so set value of instance value, but I'm not going to do that. For you, just basics of doing this, like with different, I'm just going to set this to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is going to be our sample, and obviously we're going to create two general values. So fade is equal 0. Yeah, alpha cove. I mean alpha cove of the active object, which is in our case is the fade one, is equal 0, and the fade value is equal to 1. We're going to jump the frame to the button we click, and in this context is the continue button, so we're going to jump to our game frame. Yeah. Okay, nice. And what we're going to do is create a new instance of this, but fade value fuck, express fade value 2. We set this to be the extras menu, so this is going to jump us to frame extras, and the last one is the quit button, which is just the end of application. So quit. Yeah. Okay, so now let's do quickly a warning screen example. So string warning. Fuck. You're just going to drag this object here. If we're doing a warning screen example, create one if you want, obviously. But I know. Let's, for example, do every 3 seconds. Every 3 seconds. No, actually, stupid. Is time greater than a certain value? Is it greater than 3 seconds? And I'm just going to go quickly back to our original menu code and just going to copy paste these two values. Go to the back to our screen, paste this. Okay. So is it greater? Set alternative value to 1. And just going to copy paste this. Jump to menu. Now also can do in this certain instance, you can do this with flags. So I know different flag, different this, different shit, but I like to do it this way, at least for examples. So yeah, that's how you do fades. Hope this was a good video. I hope you understood it. If you want any questions, join my Discord server, link in the description, and bye.